First Contact Misconceptions. Grand Admiral Gillian examined the holographic display with unconcealed amusement. The human vessels appeared as insignificant dots against the vast backdrop of space, almost laughable when compared to the massive warships of the Galactic Coalition. "They call this a diplomatic envoy," he chuckled, turning to First Strategist Vexura. "3 ships? The smallest provincial defense force in our territory fields at least 40 vessels." Vexura's silver scales shimmered under the command center's lights as she nodded. "Intelligence reports their technology is rudimentary at best. Their ships utilize conventional propulsion systems, and their weaponry appears to be basic kinetic and directed energy types." The Admiral zoomed in on the lead human vessel. It was sleek but small, with what appeared to be outdated sensor arrays and minimal weapon ports. The design was unlike anything in the Coalition database, oddly elegant in its simplicity, but surely ineffective in actual combat. "Perhaps they sent these vessels merely as a symbolic gesture," suggested Science Director Krell, who had been quietly analyzing the data. "Their actual military might could be elsewhere." Admiral Gillian waved his hand dismissively. "Or perhaps this is truly all they have. Look at those propulsion signatures. I haven't seen such inefficient energy patterns since our early space exploration days." The command center fell silent as the human delegation was escorted in by Coalition security. The 3 representatives wore simple blue uniforms with minimal decorations, another sign of their apparent lack of sophistication. The human ambassador, Captain Ilara Chen, stepped forward. She was of average height for a human, with calm eyes that betrayed no emotion. Despite the barely hidden mockery from the Coalition representatives, she maintained a dignified posture. "The United Earth Alliance extends its hand in friendship," Chen stated calmly, offering a slight bow. "We may be small in number, but we hope to establish peaceful relations and cultural exchange." First Strategist Vexura raised an eyebrow ridge. The translation was perfect, unusually so for first contact. Most species required multiple attempts before achieving such linguistic precision. "Of course, Captain," Admiral Gillian replied with a thin smile. "The Coalition welcomes all species, no matter how modest their capabilities." Captain Chen nodded, showing no reaction to the obvious condescension. "We understand our position as newcomers to galactic society. We simply wish to learn and trade peacefully." "Trade?" asked Vexura with poorly disguised amusement. "And what exactly could your species offer the Coalition?" One of the human delegates, a quiet man named Dr. Marcus Reed, stepped forward with a small container. "Perhaps this might be of interest," he said, opening it to reveal a small crystal that pulsed with an internal blue light. Science Director Krell moved closer, his scanner hovering over the object. His compound eyes widened slightly. "It appears to be a compressed energy source. Quite efficient, actually." There was a note of surprise in his voice. Admiral Gillian glanced at the reading and shrugged. "An interesting trinket. Our scientists might find it worthy of study." He gestured to an aide who took the container and placed it on a nearby examination table. "We have prepared quarters for your delegation during your visit. My aide will show you to your accommodations. We will continue formal discussions tomorrow." Captain Chen bowed again. "We appreciate your hospitality, Admiral." As the humans departed the meeting, escorted by Coalition security, Fleet Commander Draz whispered to Gillian, "Did you see their primitive sensor arrays? It's like watching children playing with toys." "Indeed," Gillian replied, watching the humans exit, "though I must admit there's something unusual about them. They seem overly confident for a species with such limited capabilities." "Ignorance breeds confidence," Vexura added with a slight smirk. "They probably don't understand how insignificant they truly are in the cosmic order." Later that evening, Science Director Krell requested a private meeting with Admiral Gillian. His face was unusually serious as he entered the Admiral's quarters. "Sir, I've completed my analysis of the human crystal," he said, placing a datapad on the desk. "And?" Gillian asked, barely interested. "It's unlike anything we've encountered. The energy density is remarkable, at least 4 times more efficient than our best power sources, and the crystalline structure suggests it's not naturally occurring. They engineered this. Admiral Gillian frowned, picking up the pad. That can't be right. Their ships show no signs of such advanced technology. That's what concerns me, Krell replied. Either our readings of their ships are incorrect, or they're hiding their true capabilities. Gillian finished, suddenly more alert. Aboard the lead human vessel now docked at the Coalition station, Captain Chen met with her team in a secured chamber that blocked all known forms of surveillance. Assessment, she asked simply. Dr. Reed, the science officer who had presented the crystal, smiled slightly. They underestimate us completely, as expected. Their scans didn't penetrate our hull shielding. They believe our ships are primitive. And the crystal? Chen asked. A calculated risk, Reed admitted, but necessary to establish our value as potential trading partners. They detected only its basic properties. The quantum computational aspects remained hidden. Lieutenant Commander Sato, the tactical officer, looked less pleased. Their fleet is substantial. 23 capital ships, over 300 support vessels. Their weapon systems are, as our probes indicated, powerful but predictable. Captain Chen nodded, processing this information. And their defenses against our specialized capabilities? Non-existent, confirmed Reed. They have no countermeasures for our neural targeting systems or quantum weaponry. They don't even seem aware such technologies are possible. Chen walked to the viewport, watching Coalition personnel moving about the docking bay. Remember our mission. We observe, we learn, we avoid conflict if possible. The 3 ships in our exploratory fleet are more than capable of defending themselves, but we are not here to start a war. And if they start one? Asked Sato quietly. Captain Chen turned from the viewport, her expression calm but resolute. Then they will quickly learn that humanity's appearance of weakness is its greatest deception. Behind our 3 ships stands the full might of the United Earth Alliance, a power forged through centuries of internal conflict and technological evolution that these people cannot begin to comprehend. What none of the Coalition leaders realized was that the 3 ships represented merely an exploratory vanguard, carefully designed to conceal the true extent of human technological advancement, a civilization that had learned to appear small until it was too late for their opponents to realize their mistake. The emergency council meeting of the Coalition High Command had been going for 3 hours. Tempers were rising. Most leaders were frustrated by the humans' continued presence in their space. The 3 small ships had not left after the initial diplomatic meeting. Instead, they had established a temporary outpost on an uninhabited asteroid near the border. These humans need to understand their place in the galactic hierarchy, insisted Commander Thraz, slamming his fist on the polished table. A minor demonstration of our power should suffice. Admiral Gillian looked less certain. The energy crystal they provided showed unexpected technological advancement. Perhaps we should proceed with caution. One advanced energy source doesn't make them a threat. First strategist Vexera countered. Their ships remain primitive. Their weapon systems are basic. We detected no shield harmonics above level 3. Science Director Krell cleared his throat nervously. I'm not entirely convinced our scans were accurate. Some readings were inconsistent. Commander Thraz stood up, his tall figure casting a shadow across the table. This hesitation is unbecoming of the Coalition. Since when do we fear 3 tiny vessels? After further heated debate, a compromise was reached. The Coalition would conduct a routine inspection of the human outpost. This would demonstrate authority while avoiding direct confrontation. 2 days later, 5 Coalition cruisers, each 15 times the size of the human vessels, took position near the asteroid outpost. Captain Morden commanded the lead cruiser, the Invincible Dominion. Target acquired, his tactical officer reported. The human outpost has minimal defenses detected. Morden smiled confidently. Perfect. Move to intercept pattern. Let's show these primitives how the galaxy really works. The 5 massive cruisers moved with practiced precision, their engines glowing bright against the darkness of space. They arranged themselves in a pentagonal formation around the asteroid, where the 3 human ships were docked. "Human outpost," Captain Morden transmitted, his voice dripping with authority. "This is Captain Morden of the Coalition vessel Invincible Dominion. Prepare your facilities for inspection. Resistance will be met with appropriate force." There was a brief pause before a response came. The holographic display showed Captain Chen, her calm demeanor unchanged despite the overwhelming force facing her. "Coalition vessels, this is Captain Ilara Chen of the United Earth Alliance. We acknowledge your presence but must inform you that boarding without prior diplomatic agreement violates interstellar convention." Captain Morden was surprised by the woman's composed demeanor. He had expected fear, or at least nervousness. "Conventional rules apply to conventional powers," Morden sneered, nodding to his tactical officer. "Prepare boarding teams. Target their communication systems. I don't want them calling for help." "Yes, Captain," the tactical officer replied, entering commands into his console. Suddenly, alarms blared across the bridge. The tactical display showed small objects deploying from the human vessels at incredible speed. "What are those?" Morden demanded. "Unknown devices. Too small for weapons," the tactical officer responded, confusion evident in his voice. "They appear to be drones, but the energy signature is." Before he could finish, the lights on the bridge flickered. The tactical display went dark, then returned showing only basic functions. "Weapon systems are offline," shouted the tactical officer. "Targeting arrays disabled." "Impossible," whispered the officer, staring at his useless console. "Their technology shouldn't be capable of this." Similar reports came in from the other 4 cruisers. All 5 coalition vessels had lost weapons capability simultaneously, though life support and propulsion remained functional. Captain Chen's image appeared again on the still-functioning communication system. Her expression remained calm, almost sympathetic. "Coalition vessels, this is Captain Chen. We have temporarily disabled your offensive capabilities. No permanent damage has been done. We request you withdraw and address future concerns through diplomatic channels." Captain Morden's face flushed with anger and embarrassment. "How dare you attack coalition ships? This is an act of war." "No attack has occurred, Captain," Chen replied evenly. "No personnel have been harmed. No structural damage has been inflicted. Your systems will reset automatically once we depart. We merely defended ourselves against unauthorized boarding." On her ship, Captain Chen turned to her tactical officer after ending the transmission. "Status of the defensive drones. All functioning perfectly," he replied. "The targeted EMP pulses disabled only their weapon systems as intended. Their internal scans show they're trying to bring systems back online, but the quantum lock will hold for approximately 6 hours." "And our status?" Chen asked. "Our shields never dropped below 98%. Their scans still show us as basic exploration vessels with minimal defenses." He smiled slightly. "They have no idea what they're dealing with." Chen nodded. "Set course back to our primary position and prepare a full report for Alliance Command. The Coalition has made their first move, sooner than expected, revealing true strength." Back at Coalition headquarters, the Council reconvened to discuss the embarrassing incident. The mood was tense as Captain Morden's report was reviewed. 5 cruisers disabled by 3 tiny ships, Commander Thraz said in disbelief. "This cannot be correct." Admiral Gillian raised his hand for silence. "The report appears accurate. The human vessels deployed some form of targeted electromagnetic weapon that temporarily disabled our offensive systems. But our ships have shielding against such attacks." First Strategist Vexora protested. Science Director Krell looked troubled. "Not against the specific frequency they used. It appears they identify a vulnerability in our shield harmonics that we ourselves were unaware of." A heavy silence fell over the room as the implications sank in. "Perhaps," Admiral Gillian finally said, We have underestimated these humans. Commander Thraz shook his head vehemently. No. One lucky countermeasure does not make them our equals. They obviously designed a specific device to target our systems. A clever trick, nothing more. Admiral Gillian studied the replay of the encounter once more. The precision of the human response troubled him. It was too perfect, too measured, as if they had prepared for exactly this scenario. Luck, he declared finally, though doubt lingered in his mind. Nothing more. But perhaps we should observe them more carefully before any further demonstrations. What none of them realized was that the human vessels had transmitted detailed scans of the coalition vessels' shield frequencies, weapon systems, and structural weaknesses back to Earth, information that would prove invaluable in the confrontations to come. Fleet Commander Xerax paced the bridge of his flagship, the Eternal Victory. His patience had worn thin by weeks of inaction. The embarrassment of the inspection incident still burned in the Coalition's collective memory, yet the High Command had ordered only observation of the human outpost. Cowards, Xerax muttered, stopping to stare at the tactical display. The small human presence, still just 3 ships, continued their peaceful activities, expanding their asteroid research station. Xerax's second-in-command, Officer Lanta, approached cautiously. Sir, the surveillance reports show no threatening activities from the humans. Of course not. Xerax snapped. They're biding their time, studying our weaknesses. Can't you see? This passive approach makes us look weak. That evening, Xerax called a private meeting with his most loyal officers. The room was secured against monitoring, the displays showing detailed maps of the sector. A high command has lost its courage, Xerax told them, his voice low but intense. These humans made fools of us once, and now we do nothing. I won't stand for it. What are you suggesting, Commander? Asked his tactical officer. Xerax's eyes gleamed with determination. I'm suggesting we take action. I have command of 20 ships in this sector, more than enough to crush 3 human vessels and their pitiful outpost. Without authorization, Officer Lanta asked, clearly uncomfortable. By the time we return victorious, no one will question our actions. Xerax replied confidently. History will remember us as the ones who put humans in their place. Within 6 hours, Xerax had assembled his battle group. 20 warships ranging from heavy cruisers to fast attack vessels. They departed under the pretense of a training exercise. Set course for the human outpost. Xerax ordered once they were beyond regular communication range. Prepare all weapon systems. Today we teach these humans the true meaning of power. At the asteroid outpost, the 3 human defenders were already aware of the approaching threat. Their long-range sensors, far more advanced than the Coalition realized, had detected the battle group shortly after it departed. Captain Chen, now joined by Captain Malik of the Defiant Explorer and Captain Rivera of the Quantum Voyager, calmly reviewed the tactical display in the command center. 20 ships, noted Lieutenant Commander Sato. Heavy weapons signatures on all vessels. Captain Chen nodded. And their command frequencies? Encrypted, but we've already broken their patterns. They're not using standard Coalition protocols. This appears to be an unauthorized action. Chen's expression remained neutral. Inform the outpost to activate protective measures. Move all non-essential personnel to secure stations and contact Earth Command. They should be informed, though I don't believe we'll need reinforcements. The human ships moved into a defensive formation that appeared, by conventional military doctrine, to be hopelessly inadequate. 3 small vessels spread thin to protect the asteroid base. When the Coalition ships emerged from faster-than-light travel, Commander Xerax's smile was triumphant. The human formation looked exactly as weak as he had expected. Open communications, he ordered. Captain Chen's image appeared on the main screen, her calm demeanor unchanged despite the overwhelming odds facing her. Human outpost, Xerax announced, not bothering to hide his satisfaction. This is Commander Xerax of the Coalition Battle Group Righteous Fury. Surrender your outpost immediately. Captain Chen's response was measured. Commander Xirax, we respectfully decline. Please reconsider your actions. This aggressive move has not been sanctioned by your government, and conflict would benefit neither of our peoples. Xirax was momentarily startled that the human knew this was an unauthorized action, but he quickly recovered. His laughter echoed through the communication channel. 3 ships against 20. Your bravery is admirable but foolish. You have 5 minutes to reconsider before we open fire. As the communication ended, Xirax turned to his officers. Prepare all weapons. Target their engines first. I want their ships intact for study. Sir, his sensor officer interrupted. I'm detecting unusual energy signatures from the human vessels. They appear to be activating systems we haven't seen before. Of course they are. Xirax replied dismissively. Desperate measures. It won't help them. The 5 minutes passed quickly. When the humans made no move to surrender, Xirax gave the order. All ships, commence attack. What followed was unlike anything recorded in Coalition military history. As the first volley of Coalition weapons fire approached the human vessels, they suddenly accelerated with impossible speed. Their movements were precise and coordinated in ways that defied normal reaction times. It was as if the ships and their crews were functioning as a single organism. How are they moving like that? Xirax demanded as the tactical display showed his first wave of attacks missing completely. Before his officers could respond, the human counterattack began. Their weapon systems fired in perfectly coordinated sequences. Beams of energy unlike anything in Coalition records cut through space, somehow bypassing shield frequencies that should have been unknown to them. Shields failing on cruisers 6 and 12, reported the communications officer as frantic messages flooded in. Xirax watched in disbelief as the humans employed technologies the Coalition had never encountered. Adaptive shield frequencies that changed faster than targeting systems could adjust. Quantum-linked targeting systems that seemed to predict movement patterns, and most frighteningly, gravitational manipulation weapons that created localized distortions in space. Impossible. Xirax whispered as 5 more of his ships reported complete system failures. Within 15 minutes, half of Xirax's battle group was disabled. Their systems offline, crews intact but powerless. The human vessels moved with continuing precision, separating the remaining Coalition ships and neutralizing them one by one. Order all remaining vessels to concentrate fire on the lead human ship, Xirax commanded, desperation entering his voice. The 10 operational Coalition ships managed to coordinate their attack, focusing massive firepower on Captain Chen's vessel, the Stellar Envoy. For a moment, Xirax allowed himself to hope as the human vessel disappeared in a blinding flash of energy. When the light faded, the Stellar Envoy remained, its shields visibly rippling but intact. How? Xirax gasped. Our combined firepower should have vaporized it. The next wave of human counterattacks disabled 8 more Coalition ships. Within 25 minutes of the battle's start, 18 Coalition ships were completely neutralized, floating powerless in space. The remaining 2, including Xirax's flagship, were surrounded. Captain Chen's voice came through on all channels. Commander Xirax, this conflict is unnecessary. Power down your weapons, and we can discuss terms. Xirax, his face pale with shock, ordered a final desperate attack. His flagship launched its most powerful weapons, planet-killer missiles designed to penetrate any known defense. The humans didn't even attempt to shoot them down. Instead, a field of energy expanded from one of their vessels, enveloping the missiles. When the field dissipated, the missiles were gone, apparently converted to harmless energy. Moments later, Xirax's flagship lost power. The lights dimmed around him as all systems went dark except basic life support. How? He whispered in the sudden darkness. How is this possible? The defeat was total. News of the incident spread across Coalition space like wildfire. 20 warships defeated by 3 human vessels with no casualties on either side. The humans had been careful to disable rather than destroy. 3 days later, a formal communication arrived from the United Earth Alliance. Despite the unprovoked attack, they maintained diplomatic composure, requesting only formal recognition of their sovereignty and the establishment of clear diplomatic protocols. The message ended with words that sent chills through the coalition leadership. "We came in peace. We still desire peace. Please do not test our resolve again." The Supreme Council chamber was absolutely silent as the 7 most powerful leaders of the Galactic Coalition took their seats. The room was deep underground, surrounded by security measures that made it the most secure location in known space. Science Director Krell stood alone at the center of the circular chamber. His usually immaculate uniform showed signs of neglect. He had not slept in 5 days. Behind him, a holographic display waited, currently blank. "You requested this emergency session," Supreme Counselor Jen said, his aged voice carrying easily in the silent room. "We understand you have completed your analysis of the incident." Krell nodded, his expression grave. "Yes, Counselor. What I am about to share will change our understanding of our place in the galaxy." He activated the holographic display with a small gesture. Images of the human vessels appeared, rotating slowly. "We have been gravely mistaken about human capabilities," he began, his voice solemn. "Our initial assessment failed to recognize fundamental truths about their development." The holographic display shifted, showing detailed scans of human vessels obtained during the recent engagement. The images zoomed in on specific systems, highlighting technologies that made little sense to conventional coalition science. "Each of their ships contains the equivalent firepower of 10 of ours," Krell continued. "Their hull composition includes materials we've never encountered, a lattice structure that absorbs and redistributes energy in ways our weapons cannot overcome." The council members exchanged worried glances. Counselor Vexora, head of the military division, leaned forward. "How is this possible? Their civilization was only detected 80 years ago. Our intelligence indicated they achieved faster-than-light travel just 40 years ago." "That's what they wanted us to believe," Krell replied. "In reality, they have been watching us for over a century, carefully managing what we could detect." He changed the display again, showing the battle from multiple angles. The precision of the human movements was even more apparent in slow motion. "Their tactical systems operate on principles our scientists are still struggling to comprehend," he explained. "The ships move as if they share a single mind. Our initial theory was advanced artificial intelligence, but it's something more complex, a neural interface that links their crews directly to their vessels." Supreme Counselor Jen leaned forward, his eyes fixed on the display. "How did we miss this?" "Because they wanted us to," Krell replied simply. He hesitated before continuing, as if reluctant to share what came next. The display changed again, showing what appeared to be historical images from Earth, scenes of conflict spanning centuries. "We've discovered that humans evolved in isolation. Their development was forged through constant internal warfare. While other species evolved through cooperation, humans evolved through competition." His voice grew quieter. "Their technology, their tactics, all shaped by thousands of years of fighting among themselves." Counselor Shurik, the eldest member of the council, shook her head slowly. "Most species destroy themselves before reaching the stars if they follow such a path." "Humans came close, many times," Krell agreed. "But they always pulled back from the brink, and in the process, they developed technologies we never needed to consider. Their understanding of warfare is profound. Their ability to conceal their true nature, to appear weak when they are strong. It's not just a tactic. It's ingrained in their cultural DNA." The display changed one final time, showing a map of known space with estimated human territory highlighted. "This is what we believe to be human-controlled space, based on their technological capabilities and the resources needed to support them." The highlighted area was at least 3 times larger than the Coalition had originally estimated. "They have remained hidden," Krell concluded, watching and learning. The 3 ships they sent were designed to appear primitive while containing their most advanced technologies. They came to us not out of necessity but curiosity. And now, they have taken our measure. The council chamber remained silent for several long moments as the implications sank in. Finally, Supreme Counselor Jen spoke. Your recommendation, Director Krell. Make peace, Krell replied without hesitation. A genuine peace based on mutual respect. If the humans wanted to conquer us, they could have begun already. Instead, they have shown remarkable restraint. Change isn't easy, especially for an empire used to being the dominant power, remarked Counselor Shurik. But perhaps it's time we learn. 2 weeks later, a formal delegation from the Coalition arrived at Earth, the first alien visitors ever permitted to the human homeworld. They were surprised to find not a militarized fortress world, but a beautiful blue planet with thriving ecosystems and peaceful cities. Captain Chen, now appointed as Earth's diplomatic liaison, greeted the Coalition representatives on a platform overlooking the vast Pacific Ocean. Welcome to Earth, she said simply. We have much to learn from each other. Admiral Gillian, chosen to lead the delegation, looked out over the peaceful scene with new understanding. Indeed we do, Captain. Indeed we do. Thus began a new chapter in galactic history, one where the Galactic Coalition learned an important lesson. Never judge a civilization by the size of its fleet, especially when that civilization is human.